In a first address since the inception of NDA 3.0, President Murmu lauded the government, saying that union budget will be a futuristic one while addressing a joint session of the parliament. President Murmu rigged up the 1975 emergency, terming it the biggest attack on the constitution. The president also called the emergency as the biggest and the darkest chapter in India's history, while adding that the country felt enraged by the then government. In her address, President Murmu has said that the government is now fully committed to investigating the cases of paper leaks and irregularities in exams, and also ensured that those responsible for the paper leaks will be punished. A delegation of India bloc led by Rahul Gandhi has met Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla today and expressed their displeasure over the emergency resolution being moved in the lower house. Troubles for NTA as coaching centres move to top court, file fresh pleas in Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the Apex Court has issued a notice to the National Testing Agency over the alleged NEET irregularities on a petition filed by Learning App, which of course termed inconsistent calculation of marks on the OMR sheets. A vacation bench has now sought response by July 8, along with other petitions in the NEET UG controversy, which will take place. Demanding the removal of Sengol from the Indian Parliament, SPMP R.K. Chaudhary called Sengol a symbol of monarchy. Now BJP has hit back, calling the controversy an insult to the Tamil culture and also the backward classes. With a demand to have 3 more Deputy Chief Minister resurfacing in Karnataka, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah will now camp in Delhi. Some of the ministers have been pitching for the Deputy CM post to be given to leaders from Veerashaiva Lingat, SC/ST and also the minority communities. Now Karnataka CM will be meeting all the elected MPs from the state in the national capital. In another civic tragedy in Bengaluru, road caves in close to an under-construction metro site. With over 1,000 cases of dengue reported within the past 3 weeks in Bengaluru, CM Siddaramaiah directed officials to intensify surveillance. Cases also include that of the civic body chief. Maharashtra's Pune reports the first Zika virus case this year. 2 cases of Zika virus infection were reported, where a 46-year-old doctor and his teenage daughter reportedly tested positive. Following the detection, now the Pune Municipal Corporation has urged citizens to follow the guidelines and also take necessary precautions to prevent the spread of the Zika virus. An alarming revelation published in the Lancet Global Health Journal claims that almost 50% Indians were engaged in insufficient levels of physical activity in 2022. What's worse is that far more women were insufficiently physically active as opposed to men. A woman who defrauded several men in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand through fake marriages, subsequently absconding with cash and jewellery, has now been apprehended and tested positive for HIV. Now the development has alarmed officials in both the states, who are now searching for the grooms of this serial. In a shocking case of ragging or other harassment, first-year MBBS student in Rajasthan's Dungarpur was forced to undergo dialysis after he was forced to do 300 push-ups in the scorching heat by his seniors. Now the student's kidney function was severely impacted and an FIR has been filed against 7 second-year students. Now the students spent 7 days in the hospital. Expressing concern over the high death rate in Mumbai suburban railway system, the Bombay High Court has come down heavily, saying that passengers are being carried like cattle on the locals. The Bombay High Court has also reiterated that it will hold officers at the highest level accountable. Supreme Court meanwhile pushes to fix responsibility amid attempts to destroy Delhi's lungs. Top Court has pulled up Delhi infra body for trying to cover up the role of the LG Vinay Saxena after he allegedly approved tree cutting in the ridge area. Bringing in some much needed respite from the heat wave, which was followed by humidity, NCR has now welcomed the pre-monsoon showers in parts of the city. After trading barbs for several months now, Joe Biden and Donald Trump will be going head-to-head tomorrow in the first televised debate of the 2024 US presidential poll. Trump and Biden are the two oldest candidates ever to run for the Oval Office, polling which is of course now scheduled to take place on November 5th. North Korea has successfully conducted an important test aimed at developing missiles carrying multiple warheads. The missile is a sophisticated weapon coveted by leader Kim Jong-un to overwhelm the missile defenses in, of course, the continental United States. Now, the test was carried out on Wednesday using a first-stage engine equipped with a solid fuel-based intermediate and also a long-range ballistic missile. Unrest in Kenya ends as the Kenyan government has withdrawn the contentious finance bill. President William Ruto says that he won't sign into law a finance bill proposing new taxes a day after protesters stormed parliament and also several people were shot dead. The government wanted to raise funds to pay off the debt. Now, Kenyans said that the bill caused economic pain as millions struggled to get by. An attempted military coup in Bolivia by the country's SAC general, Juan Jose Uniga, in fact, was thwarted as armed forces withdrew from the presidential palace. In fact, President Luis Arce also called for public and international support to defend democracy. Armored vehicles were also used to ram the door of the government palace. The coup attempt, reportedly led by the general commander of the army, failed. Bolivian President Luis Arce dropped the country's service chiefs and immediately named replacements after an apparent coup that threatened his reign. Now, Jose Sanchez has also been appointed as the commander of the Bolivian army. Besides Sanchez, Gerardo Zabala was also appointed the commander of the Air Force and Renan Guardia as the commander of the Navy. After failed coup attempt in Bolivia, the Bolivian general who appeared to be behind the rebellion, Juan Jose Uniga, was arrested after the Attorney General opened an investigation. Bolivian President Arce also had ordered the arrest of Navy Vice Admiral Juan Arnes Salvador. Israeli forces killed at least 24 Palestinians in 3 separate airstrikes on the Gaza City. 2 of the strikes hit 2 schools in Gaza City, killing at least 14 people. Another strike on a house in the Shati beach camp, one of the Gaza Strip's 8 historic refugee camps, killed 10 others. While Israel continues its war against Hamas in Gaza, the Palestinian death toll in the Strip is now edging close to the 38,000 mark, according to the local health officials. Food and Agriculture Wing of the United Nations has flagged that the entire Gaza Strip is at high risk of facing an extreme food crisis amid the ongoing war. In the United States, a massive wildfire had charred more than 2,415 acres in the central Oregon. A wind-driven wildfire that ignited on Tuesday in central Oregon spread overnight to 2,415 acres. Fanned by gusty winds, the blaze quickly spread through the pine forest near homes in La Pine, was threatening residents, and the residents were in fact ordered to evacuate. As the heat wave scorched the US, a 6-foot-tall wax statue of the country's 16th President Abraham Lincoln outside an elementary school in Washington, D.C. melted over the weekend. Now, the statue, which replicates the Lincoln Memorial, melted as the temperature soared to 37.7 degrees Celsius in northwest Washington. A New Jersey police officer rescued 2 people from a burning home, including a disabled person unable to walk. The officer had to drag the man who was in chair to safety on the grass outside. Both were taken to the hospital and fully recover. The officer was briefly treated in the hospital for the effects of the smoke inhalation. Country music star Randy Travis appeared before a House Judiciary subcommittee urging lawmakers to pass the American Music Fairness Act and also force radio stations to pay copyright royalties to performing artists for the use of their work. Travis, who himself is a 7-time Grammy Award winner, who is unable to sing or speak after suffering a stroke in 2013, was accompanied Wednesday by his wife, who testified on his behalf. US First Lady Jill Biden hosted a Pride event at the White House where she addressed a crowd gathered on the south lawn of the White House that was decked out in a rainbow color for the Pride Month celebration. Japan's Emperor Naruhito and also Empress Masako started a 3-day state visit to Britain as King Charles and Queen Camilla welcomed them with an array of ceremonies and also a state banquet at the Buckingham Palace. In fact, it marked the Japanese couple's second goodwill overseas trip since Emperor Naruhito ascended the throne in May 2019. Initial plans for the visit in 2022 were cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, South Africa ended their run of semi-final heartaches today by thrashing Afghanistan to reach their maiden T20 World Cup final. Chasing a target of 57, South Africa lost just one wicket and cruised to victory in under 9 overs. Meanwhile, Team India faces England today in a highly anticipated T20 World Cup clash. In fact, this is the semi-final between the two teams. The last time that these two nations faced off in a T20 World Cup semi-final was just 19 months ago in Adelaide, where the Three Lions cruised to victory in an emphatic fashion. Georgia's memorable European Championship debut is extending into the knockout rounds of Euro 2024 after their surprise win over Portugal. The Crusaders defeated the 2016 Euro champions 2-0 to progress through the Group F alongside table toppers Portugal and also second place Turkey. Venezuela booked their place in the quarter-finals of the ongoing Copa America with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Mexico after a feisty goal-less first half. Solomon Rondon clinically converted his penalty kick to score the only goal of the match and also seal the all-important 3 points for Venezuela. Over in Group E now, Ukraine's Euro 2024 run came to a heartbreaking end after the blue and yellow held the Red Devils to a 0-0 draw in a feisty encounter. The result meant Ukraine finished bottom of the group with Romania, Belgium and Slovakia going through on goal difference after all 4 nations finished on 4 points. Bill Cobbs, a veteran character actor who amassed almost 200 credits over a 5-decade career, including roles in The Bodyguard and The Night at the Museum, has died aged 90. Cobb, who often played a familiar and also a memorable everyman, likely died of natural causes. Fans of That 90s Show have something big to look forward to as the beloved series gears up for its second season. The highly anticipated season 2 of That 90s Show is set to premiere today on Netflix. Romantic sparks fly between Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum in Fly Me to the Moon as the two face off during the 1960s space race. In fact, set in the 1960s, the movie features Johansson as an executive who is hired by NASA for an image makeover after the agency comes under fire from the US government and also the public for delay in its moon mission. Now, the movie will premiere exclusively in theaters on July 12. Prabhas and Deepika Padukone's starrer epic dystopian sci-fi action film Kalki 2892 AD has now hit theaters worldwide today. The film, which focuses on the events from Mahabharata to the Kali Yuga, is now packed with adrenaline-rushing action scenes and also a gripping narrative.